Suspense. In Anton Leder's production of Lucille Fletcher's famous suspense play, Sorry, Wrong Number. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Oh dear.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Mirror Hill for 0098 for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy, but I don't see how it could be busy that long. Will you try it for me, please?
Merhill 40098. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all the time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight and I'm all alone here in the house. My health is very poor and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Merhill 40098.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello, George?
Yes, sir. It is George.
Hello, what number I'm calling, please?
We have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Where are you now?
In a phone booth.
Okay. You know the address? At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Be sure that all lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello, what number is this, please?
Okay, I understand.
Make it quick, as little blood as possible. Our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
A knife. Okay, sir.
Yes, a knife will be okay. And remember, remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes it to look like simple robbery.
Okay, I get.
Oh, how awful, how unspeakably.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been just cut off.
I am sorry. What number were you calling?
Why? It was supposed to be Mary Hill 40098, but it wasn't. Some wires must have crossed. I was cutting to a wrong number, and I've just heard the most dreadful thing, a murder. And operator, you simply have to retrace that call at once.
I beg your pardon. I don't
Oh, I
quite...
know it was the wrong number and had no business listening, but these two men, they were cold-blooded fiends. Some poor innocent woman who was all alone in a house near a bridge, and we've got to stop them. We've got to...
What number were you calling, madam?
That doesn't matter. This is a wrong number and you dialed it. And we've got to find out what it was immediately.
But, madam...
Oh, were you so stupid? Look, it was obviously a case of some little slip of the finger. I told you to try Murray Hill 40098 for me. You dialed it, but your finger must have slipped and I was connected with some other number. And I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. Now, I simply failed to see why you couldn't make that same mistake again, on purpose. Why you couldn't try to dial Murray Hill 40098 in the same sort of careless way.
Merhill 40098. I will try to get it for you, madam.
Well, thank you.
I am sorry. Merhill 40098 is busy.
Operator, operator.
Yes, madam.
You didn't try to get the wrong number at all. I asked explicitly and you all did was that correctly.
I am sorry. What number were you calling?
Well, can't you for once forget what number I was calling and do something for me? Now, I want to trace that call. It's my civic duty, it's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killers, and if you
I'll
won't...
connect you with the chief operator.
This is the chief operator.
Chief operator, I want you to trace a call, a telephone call, immediately. I don't know where it came from or who was making it, but it's obviously necessary that it be tracked down because it was about a murder. Yes, a troubled, cold-blooded murder of a poor, innocent woman tonight at 11:15.
I see.
Can you trace it for me? Can you track down those men?
It depends, ma'am.
Depends on what?
It depends whether the call is still going on. If it's a live call, we can trace it in the equipment. If it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected.
If the parties stop talking to each other.
Oh, but of course they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't sound like the type who would make a long call.
Well, I can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson. But listen.
And your telephone number?
Plaza 32099. But if you go on wasting all this
And what is
time.
your reason for wanting this call traced?
My reason? Well, for heaven's sake, isn't it obvious? I overheard two men. They're killers. They're planning to murder this woman. It's matter for the police.
Have you told the police?
No, how could I?
You're making this check into a private call purely as a private individual?
Yes, but meanwhile.
Well, Mrs. Stevenson, I seriously doubt whether we could make this check for you at this time just on your say-so as a private individual. We'd have to have something more official.
Oh, for heaven's sake. You mean to tell me I can report the murder without getting tied up in all this red tape? Why? It's perfectly idiotic. Alright, then I will call the police. Ridiculous. I never heard so much.
Your call, please.
The police department. Get me the police department, please.
Ringing the police department.
Oh dear, you have to dial. Can you ring them direct?
Police Department, Precinct 43, the fee speaking.
Police department? This is Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Smythe Stevenson of 53 North Southern Place. I'm calling up to report a murder. I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet. I just overheard plans for it over the telephone, over wrong number that operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is so stupid. And I guess in the end you're the only people who could do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was perfectly definite murder. I heard their plans distinctly. Two men were talking, and they were going to murder some woman at 11:15 tonight. She lived in the house near a bridge. Are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman on the street. He was going to go run for a beer on the 2nd Avenue. And there was some third man, a client, who was paying to have this poor woman murdered. They were going to take her rings and bracelet and use a knife. Well, it's unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not
I
well.
see. When was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago? Oh, then you can do something. You do understand.
And what is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson.
And your address?
53 North Southern Place. That's near Bridge, the Queen's Bar Bridge, you know, and we have a private patrolman in the street. And 2nd
And what
Avenue.
was that number you were calling?
Murray Hill 40098. But that wasn't the number I overheard. I mean, Murray Hill 40098 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm an invalid, you know, and it's the maid's night off, and I hate to be alone, even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have a telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, and see if we can check it with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they couldn't check the call if the parties had stopped talking. I've already taken care of that.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and personally I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good does checking the call do if they stop talking? By the time you check it down, they already have committed the murder.
And what makes you think the murder's going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
The coincidence is so horrible. The 2nd Avenue, the patrolman, the bridge.
2nd Avenue is a long street, ma'am. And do you happen to know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx. And how do you know there isn't some little house out on Staten Island on some little 2nd Avenue you have never heard about? How do you know they were even talking about New York at all?
But I heard a call in the New York dialing system.
How do you know it wasn't long distance call you overheard? Telephone are funny things. Look, lady, why don't you look at this way? Supposing you hadn't broken in on that telephone call, supposing you'd got your husband the way you always do, would this murder have made any difference to you then?
Why? No, I suppose not, but it's so inhuman, so
A
cold-blooded.
lot of murders are committed in this city every day, Mom. If we could do something to stop them, we would. But a clue of this kind that's so virulent much more use to us than no clue at all.
But surely
Unless,
you...
of course, you have some reason for thinking this call is funny, and that someone may be planning to murder you.
Me? Oh, no, I hardly think so. I mean, why should anybody? I'm alone all day and night. I see nobody except my maid Eloise. She's too big, 100 pounds. She's so lazy to bring up my breakfast tray, and the only other person is my husband Albert. He's crazy about me, adores me, waits on me hand and foot. He scarcely left my side since I took sick 12 years
Well,
ago.
then there's nothing for you to worry about there. And now, if you'll just leave the rest
But
to
what
us,
will you do? It's so late. It's nearly 11 now.
well, we'll take care of it, lady. Don't worry.
Or will you broadcast it all over the city and send out squads and wire your radio cars to watch out, especially in suspicious neighborhoods like mine?
Lady, I said we'd take care of it. Just now, I've got a couple of other matters here on my desk that require my immediate.
Oh, you idiot. Oh no. Why did I hang up a phone like that? Now he'll think I'm a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he?
Your call, please.
Operator, for heaven's sake, will you ring that Murray Hill 40098 again? I can't think what's keeping him so long.
Murray Hill 40098. The line is busy. Shall
I
I?
can't hear it. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. If I could only get out of this bed for a little while. If I could get a breath of fresh air or just lean out the window and see the streets. Hello? Albert? Hello? 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 Oh, what's the matter with Hello? 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 Or for heaven's sake, who is this? Hello? Hello?
Your call, please.
Hello, operator. I don't know what's the matter with this telephone tonight, but it's positively driving me crazy. I've never seen such an inefficient, immeasurable service. Now, look, I'm an invalid, and I'm very nervous, and I'm not supposed to be annoyed, but if this keeps on much longer...
What seems to be the trouble, madam?
Well, everything's wrong. The whole world could be murdered for all your people care, and now my phone keeps ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds, so when I pick it up, there's no one there.
I am sorry, madam. If you will hang up, I will test it for you.
I don't want you to test it for me. I wanted you to put through the call, whatever it is, at once.
I am afraid that is not possible, madam.
Oh, you cannot? Why, may I ask?
The system is automatic, madam. If someone is trying to dial your number, there is no way to check whether the call is coming through the system or not, unless the person who is trying to reach your complains to his particular operator.
Well, all the stupid. And meanwhile, I've got to sit here in my bed, suffering every time that phone rings, imagining everything.
I will try to check it for you, madam.
Go, check it. Check it, that's all anybody can do. What's the use of talking to you? You're so stupid. Hello? Hello? Oh, stop ringing. Do you hear me? Answer me. What do you want? Do you realize you're driving me crazy? Stop.
Hello, is this Plaza 42295?
Yes, this is Plaza 32099.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here for Mrs. Albert Stevenson.
Is there anyone who received the message?
I am Mrs. Stevenson.
The telegram is as follows. Mrs. Albert Stevenson, 53, North Sutton Place, New York, darling. Terribly sorry. Tried to get you for last hour, but line busy. Leaving for Boston 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business. Back tomorrow afternoon. Keep happy. Love, signed Albert.
Oh no.
That is all, madam. Do you wish us to deliver a copy of the message?
No, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. No, it isn't true. He couldn't do it. Not when he knows I'll be all alone. It's some trick, some fiend.
Your call, please.
Operator, try that Murray Hill 40098 number for me just once more, please.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
He's gone. Oh, Albert, how could you? How could you? But I can't be alone tonight. I can't. If I'm alone one more second, I don't care what he says or what the expense is. I'm a sick woman. I'm entitled.
This is information.
I want the telephone number of Hanchley Hospital.
Hanchley Hospital? Do you know the address, madam?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s though. It's a very small, private and exclusive hospital where I had my appendix out 2 years ago. Hanchley, H-E...
I do not know, madam. You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 71212.
Oh, for heaven's sake, couldn't you?
The number of Hanchley Hospital is Butterfield 70105, madam.
Butterfield 89970.
Hanchley Hospital, good evening.
Give me the nurse's registry.
Who was it you wish to speak to, please?
I want the nurse's registry at once. I want a trained nurse. I want to hire her immediately for the night.
I see. And what is the nature of the case, madam?
Nerves. I'm very nervous. I need soothing and companionship. See, my husband is away and I...
Have you been recommended to us by any doctor in particular, madam?
No, but I really don't see why all this catechizing is necessary. I want a trained nurse. I was a patient in your hospital 2 years ago, and after all, I do expect to pay this person.
Quite understand that, madam, but registered nurses are very scarce just now, and our superintendent has asked us to send people out only on cases where the physician in charge feels it is absolutely necessary.
Well, it is absolutely necessary. I'm a sick woman. I'm very upset. I'm alone in this house and I'm invalid. And tonight I overheard a telephone conversation that upset me dreadfully about a murder. A poor woman who was going to be murdered at 11:15 tonight. In fact, if someone doesn't come out at once, I'm afraid I'd go out of my mind.
I see. Well, I'll speak to Miss Phillips as soon as she comes in. And what is your name, madam?
Miss Phillips. And when do you accept her in?
I really couldn't say. She went out to supper at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock? But it's not 11 yet. Oh, my clock has stopped. I thought it was running down. What time is it?
Just 14 minutes past 11.
Oh, what was that?
What, madam?
That click, just now, in my own telephone, as though someone had lifted the receiver of the hook of the extension phone downstairs.
I didn't hear it, madam. Now, about this.
But I did. There's someone in this house. Someone downstairs in the kitchen. And they're listening to me now. I will pick it up. I will let them hear me. I'll be quiet. And I think, but if I don't call someone now, while they're still down there, there'll be no time.
Your call, please.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble.
I cannot hear you, madam. Please speak louder.
I don't dare. There's someone listening. Can you hear me now?
Your call, please. What number are you calling, madam?
Oh, you've got to hear me. Oh, please, you've got to help me. There's someone at this house. Someone's coming to murder me. And we've got to get in touch with Oh, there is it. He's put it down. He's put on the extension. He's coming up the stairs. Give me the police department. Give me the police department.
Ringing the police department.
Give me the police department. No.
Police Department, Precinct 43, the fee speaking.
Sorry, wrong number.